afternoon. My name is Oliver Westmoreland. I am an ISC registered level 3 advisor and I am a senior immigration lawyer at GSN Immigration. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so that you can continue to watch our extremely interesting videos about UK visa and immigration advice. My topic today is a double topic or a dual topic: marriage visitor visa and fiance or prospective civil partner visa. These are both for people who are seriously thinking of getting married or entering into a civil partnership with somebody else. Somebody else probably being either a British citizen or someone who's settled in the UK or one of various other categories. Marriage visitor visa is where a person from outside the UK comes to the UK to marry the person they love, well, hopefully, and then leave again. It's a kind of visitor visa. It's like other types of visitor visa. It can be issued for a maximum of 6 months. You are expected to go home, well, certainly within 6 months, and probably when you've done what you want to do. It's a very temporary arrangement. You come to the UK to get married to your partner, then you leave again, and whatever happens after that just happens. It's relatively simple and straightforward. The fiance or prospective civil partner visa is different now. These days, we have marriage and civil partnership. To be absolutely honest, the difference between the two is very difficult to define now. It could be same sex or different sex. Not really important. More important is the name of the two names for the same thing. Fiance visa, prospective civil partner visa. It's the same thing pretty much, more or less. You come to the UK to say that you are coming to the UK to get married or enter into civil partnership with your partner. The visa is issued for 6 months in every case. You, well, I can't say that you promise, but you undertake that you're going to get married within that 6 month period or civil partnership. If you do successfully and nothing goes wrong, you can, once you're married or entered into civil partnership, you can apply for a partner visa, a spouse visa, or a civil partnership visa. You can switch from the one to the other. If the spouse or partnership visa is successful, you'll be granted 30 months leave, and that could possibly be extended for another 30 months leave, and that could possibly lead to settlement. So the fiance or prospective civil partner visa is a visa that is designed to lead to settlement, to living here forever, if everything goes well, if everything goes right. Do you understand? At every stage, when you extend your leave, you have to satisfy the requirements at every stage. And there are various financial requirements about English language and financial earnings and accommodation and, of course, genuine subsisting relationship. All these things. But if they're satisfied at every stage, the fiance or prospective civil partner visa leads to settlement and life in the UK forever and possibly British citizenship. That is the difference. Marriage visitor visa is a very temporary arrangement just to achieve the marriage or civil partnership. This is quite complicated, really, Mr. Shah. I've gone through it very quickly. Do you have any searching questions you'd like to ask me?
Yes, please. Thank you very much for elaborating on that. Can someone on a marriage visitor visa switch to a spouse visa once they're married in the UK?
No. Visitor visa is for a maximum of 6 months, mostly and generally, and particularly in this case, it's most definitely only for 6 months. If you stay in the UK after 6 months, you're going to be an overstayer, pretty much.
And can a marriage visitor visa holder access the healthcare, the NHS, and the right to work?
Sadly, none of those. Visitors have not many rights, really, certainly in this case.
Okay. And as we know, with the spouse visa or fiance visa, if someone has come to the UK under both those categories and there is domestic violence in the relationship, they can apply for indefinite leave to remain.
Hang on, Mr. Shah. Spouse visa, yes, but not a marriage visitor visa, because I mean you're not going to be married until you are, Domestic violence, domestic abuse doesn't come into the picture with marriage visitor visa.
Sure. I just wanted to clarify that.
Don't forget, to qualify for that leave, you must hold leave as a partner. Now, if you have a marriage visitor visa and you get married, that doesn't give you leave as a partner. It just gives you marriage. So domestic abuse is not going to come into the picture for the marriage visitor visa.
Mhm. So if someone comes to the UK on a fiance visa,
Yeah.
for some reason they do not apply for spouse visa and they leave the UK, will they have to submit a spouse visa application from outside the UK?
I don't know. Why would they not want to switch in the UK? Why make that issue a problem or difficulty?
I mean, circumstances, maybe such that this person may have to do an emergency travel
Yeah,
abroad.
all right, okay. Listen, you can't apply for a spouse visa until such time as you're married. So if they didn't get married, then the application is not possible. Of course, if somehow, in some sort of strange circumstance, they did get married, but then the person had to go back home for some emergency reason, of course they can apply for a spouse visa from outside the UK.
Fantastic.
And the fiance visa becomes irrelevant.
Great. And just referring back to the scenario where they weren't able to get married because of some emergency, the applicant had to travel back.
Yeah.
Can he or she apply for another fiance visa to come back and
Yes.
get married?
Yes.
So
But I
fiance
shouldn't
visa,
make too much a habit of it, but they could, yes.
they could. So it's possible to apply for fiance visa for more than one time.
I guess so. I mean, it doesn't come up very often, but there's no rule against it.
I would like to ask if someone has adverse immigration history, what sort of impact it may have on the fiance visa and on the marriage visitor visa.
Well, the impact would be differential. The rules for fiance, they come under Appendix FM, Appendix Family Members of the Immigration Rules. It's relatively flexible. It's not infinitely flexible. It's relatively flexible. If there's some adverse history, the applicant might get away with it. They might escape from the rules. Visitor visas, that they get every punishment and sanction they get the full force of the law. If there is adverse immigration history, it's going to be much more difficult to succeed on average, things being equal for a visitor than for a fiance.
Sure.
I think if someone's in that sort of situation, they want to instruct a good lawyer. I'm sure you know some. Get precise advice about if they're going to be refused or not, because it's written down quite clearly. A good lawyer can advise someone whether they can make a successful application or not if they've got adverse history.
Great. And the fiance visa and the marriage visitor visa, do they allow the applicant to enter the UK, leave, enter back again during the validity of the visa?
Well, the fiance visa certainly will. The visitor visa should do, probably, unless for some reason they've only been granted single entry, but mostly they get granted multiple entry.
Okay, great. Assuming an applicant comes to the UK either on marriage visitor visa or fiance visa, and for whatever reasons, the couple may decide they no longer want to be married in the UK, they want to travel to another country where they would get married. Would that be okay that they didn't fulfill the purpose of the visa they obtained, go back to home country or any other country to get married, and then apply for a spousal visa from outside the UK?
Yeah, that's fine. That's no problem.
Awesome. And is the applicant allowed to bring dependents on fiance visa, for example, children from previous relationship who may still be under 18?
Well, the only types of dependents that would be possible would be children. Visitor cannot have dependents at all, not ever. A visitor can't, properly speaking, cannot have dependents. If a visitor wants to bring their children, each child has to make an individual application. So visitors not possible. Fiance visa, prospective civil partner visa, yes, possible. Minor child can come along with the main applicant, and conceivably minor child can get leave in line with the main applicant and eventually acquire settlement.
Fantastic. So if we were to just conclude the video, it would be prudent to say that marriage visitor visa is for people who want to come and get married in the UK. However, they do not plan to start living in the UK immediately with their partner.
I mean, they may not plan to live in the UK at all. I mean, different people have got different situations. They might plan to live somewhere else, but because of some reasons, it's convenient for them to get married in the UK, perhaps.
Great. And if someone plans to remain in the UK after their marriage without having to leave the UK, fiance visa will be the best one for them.
Well, it would be the only legal way, because it wouldn't be legal with a marriage visitor visa.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for
Can I add one
elaborating.
little thing?
Yes.
I did allude to this a bit, but let me allude a bit more strongly. It's always important to bear in mind that we know from our experience as immigration lawyers that visitor visas get refused quite easily and carelessly, because entry clearance officers in British diplomatic posts, they know there's no right of appeal. Well, not usually. There's no strong right of challenge. Most people don't bother. Fiance visa is a bit different, more difficult to refuse. It's controlled by more tighter rules and requirements. It's always going to be more difficult for entry clearance officer in a British diplomatic post to refuse a visitor visa application of any kind than a fiance prospective civil partner application. For one thing, there's a right of appeal for the first tier tribunal. So that's a statistical thing that people might like to bear in mind.
Sure. Fiance visa attracts right of appeal.
Attracts right of appeal. Visitor visa. In this case, it would not, and usually it doesn't. You only have well, you don't have the right to administrative review. The only potential challenge in most and many cases is judicial review before the upper tribunal, and that's very strange, complicated, and expensive. Most people probably wouldn't bother.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much for adding that as well.
My pleasure. No extra charge for you, Mr. Shah.
Awesome. We see you in the next vlog.
See you next time. Take care.